All right, guys, we're here. We're back. Pit Chatter Podcast, live from the Hex Haunted Attractions Tower here at Franklin County Speedway, high above the start-finish line, the flag stand here on the front straightaway. I'm Langley Austin. I'm one of your hosts. Got my padre over here, Mr. Noah Hinchee. Noah, good to see you. You look like you've been sleeping for about the last 2 hours.
Oh, I've been tired all day.
Yeah.
I was up playing Xbox pretty late. So.
Well, I do that too, but, I don't get up as early as you do.
Yeah. I probably shouldn't stay up late at night and then go drive a tanker full of explosive chemicals in the back.
Yeah, it's...
but what are you going to do?
That's why I try to stay away from your routes for each day,
Yeah.
I don't want to be
Everybody
anywhere.
should.
I don't want to be anywhere around you. Speaking of not being around anything, I didn't want to be anywhere around them stock fours this past weekend either.
It was a little rough and rowdy.
First race got rather interesting. We'll discuss that more in detail here in a moment. Man, good night, though. The Daniels Auto Glass Buster Carroll Memorial did not disappoint in any way, shape, or form.
Look, that's 2 in a row now that I felt like it was a good amount of drama to keep you entertained, but not too much to where it just got annoying and out of control.
And this one had about half as much as the last one.
Yeah, I thought it was a great night, though. Good night of racing, good car count mostly in all divisions.
Yeah, that was... I think that was the best late model car count, 8 of the year, which, it's sad to say that that's a good car count, but today it is. I think we ended up with, 9 mini stocks, 9 or 10 mini stocks?
There was quite a few of them.
Something like that. 10 mini stocks. Josh Brown making his debut.
He made it.
Yeah.
Without a working flywheel, you had to get a push start every time.
Yeah. Looked like a sprint car. He needed a push truck. Had 15 stock fours. Stellar field.
Good.
Yep. Only 12 started. One of them, couldn't start because he was a little rough and rowdy in that rookie race. He's another new guy. Man, speaking of new guys, well, not really new. He's been here before, I think, with a different car. But, man, that vintage car, that Mustang, holy smokes,
dude,
man.
That thing was nuts.
Oh, my God.
I didn't think it was going to be that fast. I saw it when he pulled it over here for practice, and I was like, damn, that's a nice-looking car. That thing's clean.
Yeah.
And then I saw him shoot out of turn 4 over here, and I was like, what in the world is going on? And I'm looking, comparing times, and he's just barely off the pace of Kyle Dudley in the late model race. And I'm like, how is this possible?
Yeah. If he could have spun a little less tire off the corner, I'm telling you, he would have been much faster.
Yeah, he was getting a little squirrely there.
He looked like them Grand National cars just spinning tires off of every corner.
That thing's got too much power for what it can handle.
But the looks of that car
it's
and the sound of that car.
It's beautiful.
Oh, my God, man. The sound of that car. Somebody said, she's purring pretty. I said, no, that's a growl right there, buddy. That is an absolute growl. That thing
I don't know what they're
beautiful.
doing. If that was my car, that thing would never touch a track with other cars.
Hey, they bring it to race, man.
That's a show car worthy piece right there.
One of the cool things about them though, they come in, they got a really nice truck and trailer. It looked like a cup setup down there. They got a canopy up on top of the trailer and got 2 canopies up over the car down on the bottom, and man, just a sharp outfit from start to finish.
Yeah, that thing was nuts.
Yeah, a little bit disappointed in the vintage car count. Only ended up with 3 of them. We had a modified here, Stephen Kammer, in that 31 modified there. He was fast too. Just wasn't as fast as that 95 there. So.
Yeah, I don't think hardly anybody was as fast as that Mustang out there.
No, for sure. Chris Amos. Making his debut in the vintage deal with that old Keith Kingery Classic modified.
Yeah, I think it's
pretty cool car.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
little blast of the past there.
It was. When I was growing up here, I'm gonna say late '90s, early 2000s. Keith Kingery and his dad Randy Kingery, who's a very famous race car driver from here, raced for years. He had a car that looked like the old Mason Speed Shop car, the old 45 car. It had a 45B on there. Really cool car. That was his son's car, the one that Chris Amos has got. So, cool. Some cool cars, just not enough of them.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd say those old cars are a little hard to come by.
They are.
And it's probably even harder to put it on the track.
Well, I think our car count was circumstantial. I think, they were supposed to race 2 weeks ago. So we rescheduled them, 2 weeks later. You just never know what's going to happen when you reschedule guys. Even the guy who's going to run the series, operate the series next year, he didn't even show up, so... disappointing, but good. Cool cars. Always fun to watch. The East Coast Flatheads, man. Johnny Johnson got him another victory. He's a legend, legendary Bowman Gray driver, legendary modified guy in this area. Period. He got him a win in the modified class, and in the Sportsman class, Donovan Freeman and Wayne Lawson, that 45 and the 6. Man, they battled like crazy for that. I don't know if you could really see it because they didn't do much of anything on the front straightaway. But I mean, Wayne Lawson was giving it. Aside from hitting him, he was giving him everything he could give him to try to get away. What would have been the win in that division?
Sounds like I missed all the fun stuff.
Well, listen, I think you miss all the fun stuff every week. I think if you were up here in the tower calling the races, I think you'd have a whole different perspective of the races here.
Well, I know the problem, at least the last 2 weeks, and I guess it's a good problem to have. There's so many damn haulers on the. I can't see the entire back stretch.
Listen,
I get to see the first half, so whatever happens back there, I have no idea.
Listen, I hope for these last, we got 4 to go?
I think so.
For these last 4 races this year, I hope that you can't see anywhere. Okay?
Yeah, well.
I hope the only thing you can see is what's in front of you.
Like I said, it's a good problem to have.
And you mentioned that pits was packed.
Yeah,
I mean,
they were.
There was a lot of cars, and there were a lot of haulers, and there were a lot of people down there.
Yeah.
Man, speaking of haulers, did you see the hauler that Michael and Larry Altus rolled in with?
Yeah.
Lord Jesus, biggest hauler here. Going to roll in 2 minutes before the race starts. Got to park them down the back straightaway. Got 2 stock 4s in this thing. Only thing would have been better.
And look, no offense to them, not even good looking stock 4s.
No,
they rolled out that 51 that had a half yellow, half silver paint job on it.
Yes, they definitely need to spend some time putting a paint job and some letters on that thing, for sure.
You can't show up with a hauler like that and roll out that 51.
I don't know. I think it's just so fitting.
I mean, I guess it is.
Especially for here, man. So fitting. I mean, their hauler was like 232 foot long.
Oh, my God.
I don't know how they fit it through the gate over here.
That thing was probably longer than the truck. I took my CDL test in.
Oh, man. That's great. Yeah, but it was a good night, man. Good, pretty decent. I mean, man, the way crowds are at racetracks now, I mean, anytime you get a halfway decent crowd, you just got to be glad of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen some races on Flow over the last few weeks, and I know you didn't get to see them, but I saw them on there with very sparse crowds, and seen like Dominion's had some terrible crowds. Been some struggles for every racetrack this year, but man, it seems like the way we kind of revamped the schedule here for the end of the year, it's kind of working in our favor here.
Yeah, and luckily the core group of fans that we do have, I know I've said it before, but those people are extremely loyal.
Oh, they are.
It's 80% of the crowd is the same people that's here every single week or just about every single week.
Yes.
There's like 3 people down here that I see every single race, and they are on the fence right at the start-finish line for the entire night. We have an extremely loyal group here.
We do, for sure. All right, so what, we talked about the vintage cars and we talked about the Flatheads. Where you want to start on the rest of this mess?
We can start from the top. Rookies start off with a bang. We didn't even get 2 laps out of that one.
Good grief, man. That was interesting. Justin Landis, who raced in the Legends division, decided this past week he was going to buy a stock 4. I think he practiced it once or twice, and he decided that wasn't for him, I guess. So he put his brother, Jake Landis, in the car. And let's just say Jake didn't know how to use the brakes.
No, he didn't.
Nor let off the gas. Him, and I will say this now, have you watched the video of it, or just, I guess you probably got to see that, the save he made here on the front straightaway.
I thought 4 separate times, I was like, nope, there he goes. Nope, there he goes. It somehow, I've never seen somebody fishtail 3/4 of the way down the straightaway, and he still saved it. It was immaculate.
Pretty amazing. And then he takes off down into turn 1 and dumps Kevin Nicely. who really, yes, he made contact with him, but really Jake wrecked himself. You know what I mean? It was just racing there. You know what I mean?
Well, it's both very, not guys with hardly any experience.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a perfect storm of not good.
Yeah. To Kevin's credit, man, he just about went up on the wall back here on the back straightaway on the inside, and come on around, kept going, and then Jake got him again on the last lap. And he probably should have been parked before that. He got parked after that for the rest of the night. But he probably should have been parked before that. But I didn't see, and I don't believe the race director had saw when he dumped old Buck down here.
All right, about that one.
No, I can't blame Buck. I'm sorry.
Look,
can't do it.
Okay, you can't. I can't. He doored him pretty good. Maybe got him a little bit towards the rear. That was a very savable car.
Well, yeah, but he only dove in about 8 car lengths further than he needed to. Though.
I'm sure it was sudden, and it probably caught Buck extremely off guard.
Well, it did. He probably looked up in his mirror and said, "Well, that guy's back there a ways."
I got 6 car lengths on that. Yeah, but I think it was a savable car.
Yeah.
Should he have doored him that hard? No,
I'm
not saying that. But
Landis got himself a DQ from the race for rough driving. But that doesn't even. We ain't even started discussing the actual race that was going on, not these idiots back here in the back.
Yeah.
But the actual race that was going on. Caleb Hall, first time out, got him an Ecotec Cavalier and.
Good looking car,
man.
Too.
Yo, it looked a lot better when the night started than when it finished.
I told them that when they were over here working on it, making sure everything was good. I said, "That's a nice car. You know it ain't gonna look very nice at the end of the night." He said, "I know."
Well, listen, I'm not sure. He had some help, but I think he made that. He made the decision that it wasn't going to look.
He made most of those marks himself. Yep. But hey, more power to him.
First race out, 10 laps, got him a win in the rookie race start tonight, though.
Yep.
Good way to start.
Yeah, that was a good.
I mean, did you win your first rookie race?
Probably not.
I don't.
No,
I don't
that was
know.
when Adam was in there. And it was me and Keyshawn and our little slow junkers fighting for second, and then Adam was 3 laps ahead of us.
Last week's rookie winner, James Chrisley, he come home second. Heather got her a third place finish. Larry Altus was fourth. Kevin Nicely ended up fifth, even after all that crazy. Kevin Litton, 38. He's done a good job of staying out of everybody's way. He's not in the fastest car, and he's out there learning. But he is getting better. He's getting better at being a little bit faster and being even more so out of the way. So good thing for him. I heard that he's working on buying him an Ecotec, one of the ones that's been racing here. So
of course he is.
Could get interesting.
Everybody is.
I mean, you might as well. If you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah.
I mean, you had to.
It looks like he's gotten used to getting loose in that thing, too. I think at first it was scaring him.
Yeah.
When I talked to Justin before the race, the car that they were racing, you probably couldn't tell because I don't know how they painted it and got stickers on it so quick.
Yeah.
But it was the 777.
The paint was still wet.
It was the 777.
Yeah.
It
was the Ryan Wheat demo derby machine last week. This week it was Landis's demo derby machine.
And he told me that he didn't really do nothing to it when he went out there the first time.
Yeah.
So, of course, he's running on Ryan Wheat and Wes Givens setup.
Yeah.
Which, for anybody that's seen races here, means you're going sideways.
Yeah. 100%.
And he said that was maybe one of the scariest feelings he's ever felt.
Yeah.
He said it feels like the whole back end of the car just picks up off the ground. And you're sideways throughout the whole turn.
I can imagine.
I was like, it ain't for the faint of heart.
No, for sure. It'll tighten
up the old sphincter muscle.
Anything else from the rookie race you remember? I don't remember anything else.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, we talked about Buck and, nicely getting the Landis treatment. So, Legends cars, Manita Tractor and Trailer Legends had twins, 15 lappers. First one, whatever. They put on a good race, but not much to talk about.
No, the first one, I don't.
Chris Lilly got to win. Ryan Wheat second. Keyshawn Clater third. Phil Smith fourth. Mike McMall fifth. Wes Givens finished sixth. Nothing really happened. Gary Smith.
Making his debut.
Banged wheels, I believe they said, with one of them. I can't remember. And pulled it off the track and, fixed it and got ready for the second race.
Yeah.
Well, second race comes, and they lost their minds. Every one of them.
We We might have you a new shirt idea, and that's "This ain't any car."
This.
I don't think you're planning on it, but Chris Lilly's GoPro caught you clear as day. Everything you said.
Well, the reason I know he did. The reason that he did is because he saw me coming, and he's like, "I'm gonna turn my car off so I can hear this."
Yeah. I was saying it on the microphone, and I said, "Uh-oh, he done came out here to talk to me. That's never good."
And more than anything, it wasn't really. I didn't really think he did anything necessarily wrong. I just wanted to make sure because Ryan gets. Man, he gets that adrenaline going and he loses his damn head. And I just kind of wanted to reel him in just a little bit before it got worse.
Well, it's been a while since he's been back in the Legends car.
Yes. And so last week he was in a demo derby in the rookies.
I was getting ready to say, I think he was still in his stock 4 brain.
Yeah. Now, I will say, I gotta say that I kind of blamed him a little more than I should have for when he got into it with Phil Smith right before I come out there to talk to him.
Yeah.
Because going back and watching the video, when the video happens, you can see the other wreck happen off of 2. And as the light comes on over there, I believe he's too far to the inside to know. Now, he wasn't going to make that corner anyways. He was going to spin the 16 out. So it was a stupid move to start with. But the light wasn't on, so or come on right as he would have come past.
From my angle, which I can only see so much, it just looked like maybe the 16. As soon as the light came on, he checked way up, and Ryan did not.
Yeah, well,
that's what it looked like.
Well, where Ryan was committed at, I don't think it mattered.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, based on the video, I think he caught up to him partly because of that, but maybe because he just slung it in there way too hard.
Way too hard. And we done got that far. You talking about that's a good T-shirt idea though, and we should talk about the T-shirts. But just give me a minute. Let's finish the thought here on the Legends cars. Chris Lilly gets together with Ryan before that.
Yeah.
Ends Keyshawn's night. Keyshawn and Ryan, teammates, Wheat Motorsports cars, end up crashed up over here in turn number 4. A little fire, I guess.
Yeah.
On the 11 car. They both jump out when the guy gets out there with the fire extinguisher. Probably a good idea. They'd breathe that crap in. They probably would have been done for the night. Keyshawn done for the night. But Ryan, man, he bounced back. I mean, obviously he was going for it. And I'm gonna tell you something, man. Perfect scenario for Ryan the other night would have been if there had been a green-white checkered and him and Chris Lilly had to start in the back. Because I'm gonna tell you, Ryan Wheat could pick off some cars from the back, bud.
Yeah, he can.
And Chris, while he does a really good job, he ain't doing that good a job.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with Chris's less willingness to be extremely rough out there.
Well, yeah, 100%.
I don't think Ryan, it would hurt his feelings very much if he destroyed that car.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he'd go flipping end over end, and he'd laugh about it when he got out. He wouldn't care.
Yeah, but I think Chris cares a little bit more about his stuff.
Yeah. Well, Chris cares about his stuff, but he kind of helped his dad destroy the car on the back straightaway over there.
Yeah.
Come up off the corner. I guess he got a little bit twitchy there. And those cars are, it's funny. I was talking to Wes yesterday, and Wes told me, those Legends cars. He said, "Man, I just don't know about those things." Yeah. He said they're just not, He said, he said a lot of it for him is, he's not driving his own car. But like Chris, and I think Chris got a little bit sideways off of 2, and I think as he went to catch it, his dad freaked out beside of him there.
To drive those Legends cars, you have to have like A+ reaction time.
Yeah,
because they're so snappy because they're so little and they got so much power that you have just a tiny fraction of a second to correct whatever you just did.
And I think in order to be successful in those, you're going to have balls of steel.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Especially here. I'm trying to remember who it was that told me. Oh, man. They said, man, the guy that was told me, he said, like, man, I race Legends cars everywhere. He said, this is the hardest place to drive one.
Yeah.
He said, just the character of the racetrack and the layout and how quick things happen and all those things. He said it's very, you got to be really up on it to drive.
Well, what you can't tell from just watching from the outside is all the little bumps and stuff.
Oh yeah.
In a normal size car, they don't make a huge difference.
Yeah.
But you watch like Chris Lilly's in-car camera, and you can see that thing, every tiny little bump, every little pebble he runs over, it's just da-da-da-da-da-da, and it's like trying to sling that legend car everywhere but straight.
Yeah, yeah.
Those things do not take any bump or any kind of anything well.
No, I agree 100%. Anyway, the second Legends race there, Chris Lilly got to win again, so he won both races. Ryan Wheat finished second in both races. Gary Smith came back to finish third in that second race. Kyle Klingenpeel got him a good fourth place running that thing.
Yeah.
Chris Bassett making his debut this week in the 34. He ended up in fifth. So good, good and wild night for the Legends cars, the Manita Tractor Trailer Legends cars.
Yeah, I'm impressed with Gary. I'm surprised he kept his head together. I know it has to be because I've talked to him. We've talked about it. The scariest thing about them things is the last thing you want to do is touch wheels with somebody.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it will send you end over end, and who knows where you end up.
Yeah,
in the first race, he touches wheels with somebody. I'm sure it scared the hell out of him.
Yeah.
And then the second race is whatever you want to call it, wreck fest, spin fest,
he
whatever.
Just survived that.
And he kept his cool. Yeah. He kept it together, and ended up third.
Yep, for sure. Next race, I guess we'll talk about some mini stocks. There was 10 cars. 9 of them got beat by a girl.
Yeah. Wasn't a whole lot of action other than
wasn't a lot of action in the race. Brittany Cochran put the car out front. She's like 0.4 of a second faster than anybody.
She was walking the dog.
Now we'll tell you this though. Now the 00 Gary Fitzgerald, I'd have to go back and look at the times for sure. But man, he looked dang near as fast as she was.
Yeah.
But he had to start up in the back because he got here super late. I guess he'd been working on the car, trying to get it ready. Never got any practice or anything. And he ran a smart race. Last year, he's out here, every time him and Josh Phillips or him and Wes Goff or him and somebody got together. I'm not blaming it on him. Could be him, whatever. The other guy, doesn't make any difference. Yeah. But he ran a smart race. I know he lost third there at the end. Josh Phillips got around him.
They were battling for quite a while, too.
Yeah, well, and those are two guys who like to run into each other a lot last year, and they did not do that this time.
No, they kept it pretty clean. They was running each other hard, but wasn't beating each other up or nothing.
Yep, Wes Givens having the best points night of the playoff guys, finishing second. Dennis Holdren got here late, drove his backup car, the red 99, got a fifth place finish there to get some points. Wes Goff I seen that he said that he turned the fastest laps he turned in that car this past weekend, and they've been really struggling since the last race last year when they wrecked it.
Yeah.
So they're bouncing back at the right time. Shane Hodges, man, he's not had the finishes to show it yet, but man, he's had some good runs.
Yeah, he has. I wish he'd be here every week to add to the.
Yeah, well, he's been the last 4 races. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I think he will be. At all the rest of these races, and I mean he's coming. He's new. I don't know how old he is. I'd have to look. But he's 15, 16, 17, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But young driver doing a great job. I know David Duncan. He ended up 8th. He's been working really hard on his car. Had Danny Bush here helping him this past weekend. Josh Brown, we talked about him making his debut, struggles with the, flywheel or whatever, and he didn't make the first practice because he couldn't get the car started and going.
Yeah.
These practices are really fast, so you got to be really ready for that.
He probably shouldn't have tried to race the car this week, but
No.
I get it. You get a new car, especially when you're moving up a division.
Yeah.
He was probably so eager to just get out here and get in a race that he didn't care.
No doubt. And the 44 car, who wants to be known as Skidmark, is Kevin Light. Skidmark. That's an interesting name.
I was looking at the transponder during practice, and I was like, what in the hell? I was like, do they not like this guy or something? And then, he was laughing about it. He was like, yep, Skidmark.
That's what he wants to be called.
That's what they called him in the roll call down there at the driver's seat. They said Skidmark, and he's like, yep, that's me.
Jesus, man.
I was like, all right. I don't know if I'd pick that name for myself.
Fun times. I know Brittany probably won't be back this weekend. Got twins for the mini stocks coming up for the Star City 12 Volt Labor Day Classic presented by One Stop Auto Sales and Towing. So got Going to be an interesting field. I hope the rest of these guys mostly will be back. I'm looking at the field. I don't think Skidmark will make it this race. I think he said he'll be back in a few weeks. Everybody else should be. Scott Foley, I think, will be back this week. Everybody was thinking he was going to be here, for the whole Josh Phillips thing this past weekend. But his youngest brother got married about 4:30, so just the timing of it just wasn't going to make it to where he could be here this past Saturday. So he'll be back in the mix, and maybe they'll get to use those tanks they were talking about.
I'm waiting to see it.
I don't think we'll see anything happen. We might, but guys get mad on race nights, and they say a lot of things, and they probably let it carry over 2 or 3 days, and by the time the next race rolls around, they done moved on.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mostly.
Not all the time, but
not all the time. I mean, racers have memories like elephants.
Oh yeah,
they last forever. So, stock four. Hold on, before we get to the stock four, let's go up here and talk about the late models. Okay. The late model portion of the Buster Carroll Memorial 58 lap race. I'd have to go back. Did Drew Bond qualify on the pole? I believe he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Impressive qualifying there. Drew Bond, he won the last race last week, ended up having to start, was supposed to be in the back, but so many people got penalized for different things. I think he ended up starting fourth or something. He had a good run, finished second. Second to Kyle Dudley's like a win. So
I mean, yeah.
Kyle, I know, a couple people was like, well, Kyle had new tires on. Well, yeah, okay. He did, but we made him run the tires in, for one. And two, he could have took the rubber off there.
I don't think it matters with Kyle.
I mean,
he's got such good equipment, and he's run so many tens of thousands of laps here that.
And listen, I want to see him get beat.
Yeah.
I mean, trust me and him have had conversations about how much I don't like him winning every race. Okay. Yeah. But at the same time, you got to give a guy his due when he's got the best car, and 9 times out of 10 he's the best driver on the night. He used the rule. Now, did we have to make an exception where we had to run in the tires so that he could run them? Yes, but I mean, once you run them in and they're there, I mean, it is what it is. Do I like that he brought new tires? No, not really. That's kind of the downside to the rule. You got a 5/30 seconds rule on tread depth, and new tires is not something you want to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With that. But at the same time, I mean, what difference does it make if they're new tires and you run them down to 5/30 seconds, or if you have tires that you ran 3 races ago that are at 5/30 seconds? It doesn't really. There is some difference, but there's not a lot.
Yeah, and I get it. But like I said, with Kyle, I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I don't either. Darren Cochran making his first start. He did not go out and dominate like his daughter did. He got a 3rd place finish.
He said something about tires also. He
said
something about his
tires. He said he wished he'd have left his, because it was him and Kyle had new tires on, and he ended up putting together a set down there that was at 5/30 seconds and didn't run his new tires. And I think it probably made a little bit of a difference for him, you know what I mean? Because, at that point he's, throwing together, trying to find make a set work. Whereas, these other guys had all week, where he was anticipating running the early practice and getting some practice laps in and having those new tires at, 5/30 seconds and being okay. Joe White made his Franklin County Speedway debut, that pretty 26 car.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had a good run. Him and Dakota Walls got together here on the front straightaway. A little bit of calamity, pretty much the only thing that happened, in the late model race. Landon Nestor got caught up in that. I give him hell, okay? I give Landon hell all the time about not being able to use his brakes. I'm not sure it would have mattered what kind of brakes he had or how much he used them in that instance.
No, well, the problem is it ain't very wide around here. And when you got 2 cars that are kind of sideways in front of you, where are you going?
You ain't going much of anywhere. Ended his night, tough break for him, and it ended Matt Lawrence's night. He's out here just trying to get points, trying to get that car dialed in. He tore his other car up 2 races ago. I believe he broke a brake caliper when he went to stop, to not get into that mess. So he used his brakes, and that didn't work in his favor either.
Used them too much.
Yep.
He's slamming brakes so hard he broke them.
And I skipped over, while I was talking about it, I skipped over Josh Phillips. I believe that was his first late model race. I believe.
I know he drove the car before.
Yeah, I do too. I
don't know if he's raced them.
Yeah, I don't either. I can't remember if he run that one race.
I do believe
he
one
did
of
run
the
Grand
times the Grand
race.
National. Yeah,
he ran in the Grand National race with the car, but I don't think he ever run a late model race.
I don't think he has.
But,
I think Grand National was always done.
Either way, got him a 5th place finish. Man, he stayed out of all the trouble and did a good job, I thought.
Sounded like the exhaust fell off of that thing.
Yeah, probably. I mean, listen, you got Tyler Ashley working on it. I mean, liable to have things falling off.
All of a sudden, halfway through the race, it sounded way different, and there were sparks flying out from underneath it. And I said, did the exhaust fall off of that?
Well, if I remember correctly, they sent Spider out there to get the exhaust off of the track after one of the races. That must have been it.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So, anything else from the late model race you remember? I don't remember anything else.
Kyle needs to slow down on his beer chugging.
He go too fast for you?
He went so fast, I didn't even see it. I got out, or I didn't get out. He got out. I interviewed him and talked to him, and I was standing there waiting, and I was like, when's he going to do this? That's his signature thing. And they were like, he did that like 5 minutes ago. I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
He downed that thing, apparently, as soon as he got out the car.
Yeah, you said you got out. Listen, if you got in a late model and you were having to get out, we'd still be waiting on you to get out. Okay.
Yeah, we'd have to
cut the top of the
fat
car
boy
off.
the door.
Hey man, listen. Speaking of that, one time I intended to race. I was going to race dirt. I had bought a modified, and I was going to go race dirt. And man, I was skinnier then than I am now. Okay, I crawled in that thing. I just barely got in there. When I went to get out, I thought it was going to rip every layer of skin I had off getting out of that damn thing.
I've gotten into Austin Williams let me drive a Civic one time.
Yeah.
The way he had the cage and a full containment seat, it's always easier going in.
Yeah.
And once I sat in there and I was looking around, I was like, oh, man, this is going to take forever and it's going to hurt trying to get out of here.
Not going to feel good right here.
And they were all laughing at me when I was trying to get out.
Yeah.
About ripped my nipple off on the door jamb. It was bad.
Dude, when I got in that modified, the dang window's like 18 inches tall. You know what I mean?
They're tiny.
Holy smokes, man. I don't know. There's a couple of them big boys that run those things, like out in the Midwest. I don't know how they get in and out of the car.
I don't know.
It was like a couple of years ago. And I got to give him a hard time speaking of the late models. But a couple of years ago, Bobby Gillespie had one of those Camaro bodies on his late model.
Yeah.
And it has that tiny window. And Bobby ain't no tiny boy.
Yeah.
Man, every time he'd go to get out of that thing, we'd laugh at him, make fun of him, because it'd take him forever. But I saw him a few minutes ago, okay? So I'm on my way down here. He delivers the mail in Floyd County, okay? So he's the mailman up there. So I seen him. Actually, I seen him when I left my house, and then I seen him again when I was coming down. So I stopped and pulled up beside of him and told him to get out of the road. And he said, "Where are you going?" And I said, "Well, I'm going down here to record the podcast." And he's all okay. I said, "I'm going down here to tell him to talk crap about you." He said, "Well, just tell him I'm scared." I was scared Saturday. I couldn't race. But no, he was unable to get, I think he didn't get the part that he needed till Friday to get the thing back together, and he wanted to get a little bit of practice before he took it out on the track, which is weird for Bobby. Bobby doesn't do much practicing, but I guess after, breaking and sliding up into the wall a little bit, he probably wanted to make sure that his car was going to be good. And, we got the next late model race is the Ricky Gillespie Memorial race, which is on September 14th, and I know that's one he wants to win really bad.
I'm sure. That one last race, it broke my heart.
Yeah,
I was hoping he was going to get it done.
Well, and he's going to get a free gift from Kyle Dudley in that race, because Kyle Dudley will be at South Boston Speedway running the Cars Tour race. He will not be here, so Bobby G will have an opportunity to win that race. But Drew Bond, he's been fast, man. I'm telling you. Darren Cochran will be back. I don't think Darren was very happy with how he ran Saturday. And now I think he was happy that he went back in the trailer and he wasn't tore up, but I don't think he was happy that he was about to get lapped.
Yeah, I don't think he liked that very much.
And I think you'll see them come back swinging.
Yeah, for sure.
This next race, he'll be there. Brittany will be back in the mini stock. I feel like the Ricky Gillespie Memorial is going to be a lot like that race Saturday. Going to be a packed infield and probably a pretty good little crowd out here in the stands.
I hope so. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too, for sure. All right, I guess we'll. I try to always save the stock fours for last, and the first stock four race of the night definitely didn't disappoint.
No, it didn't.
It was
a little rough and rowdy out there.
I was about to use that exact sentiment. It was like a rough and rowdy brawl.
Yeah.
Out there between Gary Smith and Caleb Hall, and mentioned Caleb earlier winning first race out, and the rookies. He just about got himself to victory lane in the stock four race there.
He almost did. If it wasn't for them if it was a 17-lap race, he would have done it.
Probably so. I know that talking to you before we started, we kind of have a little bit of a difference of opinion on how that all went down. I think Caleb got into Gary first. Over here in turns 1 and 2. Or 3 and 4, whichever one it was, but man, it was like a slugfest out there after that between those two.
It was.
And I don't know what's your take. The new guy. I know Will, Gary's dad, and Gary both were pretty upset about the way that they were raced. I think I don't know if maybe from listening to him, I don't know if they maybe felt like because they were in the middle of a points battle that he shouldn't do that. But listen, he's not in the points. He doesn't care. It's not his job to care. It's your job to care. If you care, ride behind him and move on. You know what I mean? Stay. And listen, I'll say this: if Gary would have just at that point, if Gary would have said, you know what, I'm not going for the win, I'm not going back up here to hit him, which hit him pretty good, and just rode second, he wouldn't have finished fourth.
Yeah.
Because Caleb would have won, Gary would have been second, and Wes might have caught them at the end, but just barely.
I think that's what upset him, because it was pretty obvious that if Caleb wasn't there doing that, Gary had that race won. He would have probably ran away with it. I mean, maybe not, because they was pretty far out ahead. They probably would have got a caution on that one. But
yeah, maybe.
I
don't think we have competition cautions when Wes is in second. I haven't seen one. Have you?
That's a good point.
I'm just saying.
I don't think it was like egregiously bad.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a little above average, I would say, for aggressiveness rating. And that does
for stock four.
Yeah, I think just a little above.
So you're telling me that looked harsher than anything else we've seen this year?
No, I said on average. Okay, that's what I told you before.
Okay.
The average race. Have there been races that was way worse than that? Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, the Keyshawn, Josh Hinchee slugfest were pretty good.
Sometimes it was getting rough out there.
Yeah.
But I would just say on an average scale, that was a little bit above average.
Yeah.
And I get both sides where it's like, Caleb, he's new. He don't care. He don't care about the championship.
Yeah, sure. He's just here to race.
You can shove that trophy.
Yep.
But I understand the same side where it's like, you just got here. We've been racing all year, and we're battling for a championship here. And why are you going to try to beat up a car that's in the championship run?
Yeah.
So I kind of get both sides to that.
Well, the only thing I'm going to say is, and for whatever reason, Gary's still fast doing this, but he's kind of got and I said this to you earlier, he's kind of got the Chris Meeks syndrome of driving down in the corner and taking up 2 lanes, being completely sideways. And if you're going to do that, that's cool. You just got to understand that people are going to end up inside of you, and they're going to end up running you up the track, and you're going to end up getting together. And at some point, that's going to cost him. Maybe he thinks he's fast enough doing that. I don't know. Even Wes ain't that sideways.
Yeah.
Getting in the corners. So I just don't think that I think, my opinion, I think if they found a way to get that car a little tighter and a little better getting into the corner, he'd probably drive off and win every race.
He probably would. I think it's like, at least for me, with my experience with my car last year, I think there's like a perfect balance. You don't want to be completely tight where it never breaks loose, but you also, you don't want to look like Gary or Chris Meeks where you're Tokyo drifting through the whole turn.
Yeah, I mean, you're making it to where the guy behind you, he can't go to your outside, so he has to just ram it down in there and move you up the track. I mean, he doesn't have a choice.
Yeah.
You got to understand when you're racing, you got to have the other guys got to have a choice here. And if he doesn't have a choice, well, that's what's going to happen.
That's what. Yeah, I think if Gary could tighten it up just a little bit.
Yeah. I'm afraid of what will happen if he tightens it up.
He'll be stupid fast.
I'm not sure anybody here can beat him at that point.
I don't know if they can.
I don't either. But, kudos to those guys for and I'm going to tell you something Danny Willard told me a few weeks ago. Danny Willard is the race director for the car store, okay?
Yeah.
And his exact words to me was, he said, we've pretty much decided that these guys are going to beat and bang and do whatever they want to do, and we're just going to let it go until somebody gets turned around. And then we'll penalize and we'll do whatever we need to do from there. Gary can be mad if he wants. Caleb didn't wreck him.
Did you ask him if he got all that from watching Stock 4 here? Because I swear it was a direct correlation. When Stock 4 started getting like that and then the car store, I swear they were watching.
Yeah.
They were like, we got to outshine this entertainment here.
Yeah, well, I will say that some of their races have outshined it. But, no, I don't know. I don't think it has anything to do with it. It's just, coincidence. But man, these Stock 4 guys are absolutely giving it hell. And
what's crazy is this is the most aggressive and most rough driving that at least me, in my 3 years being here, 4 years watching, this is the most aggressive and rough they've ever been. Yep. Also, somehow, we have had the least amount of wrecked race cars this year.
It's crazy.
Than all 4 years I've been here.
It's wild, man.
Some nights 2 years ago, we had more wrecked cars in one night than there has been all season.
Yes.
I have no idea how that works.
Yes. Man, I'm with you 100% there. I don't know, man. Just wild. These guys have been impressive, and I think I got a feeling from this incident. I got a feeling once Gary and Will got to look at the video, I think maybe they felt a little bit different. Will specifically, he stands on the front straightaway. He can only see what happens, kind of like you. Yeah. Only see what happens here on the front straightaway. And race looks a lot different when you can see the whole track.
Yeah, it does. And that's
what... ended up, they handed the win to Wes Givens, which, again, I say, if you're worried about points, worry about points. You could have kept Wes Givens behind you.
Yeah.
You could have finished second, which would have been way better than finishing fourth and losing points to Wes and Keyshawn in that first race. Now, second race, James Chrisley finished fifth in that race, and I want to give a little bit of a lot of credit actually to your brother Josh Hinchee. Man, he worked his butt off last week. All the way up until dang near race time, really. Yeah. I mean, he wasn't, I think he missed the first practice or the second practice, whichever one, ran into the 77 over on the back, knocked it off of jack stands. And, I mean, he had a rough time, but, man, he worked his butt off to try to race. He didn't get the finishes that he would have liked to have, but, man, it wasn't because of effort, I can tell you that. Jaden Austin, he had been driving the white car again. Wrecked the 81 earlier in the season. He was back in the 81. They worked really hard last week. Him and Josh and Wes Givens worked really hard last week trying to get that one back together. Wasn't very fast, but I think they had some sort of problem with the transmission slipping or something.
Yeah, when I talk to Jaden, usually those automatics, you just throw them in second. You just leave it there. But I could hear something wasn't right. It was shifting into third, almost like it was into drive.
Yeah.
And Jaden said he didn't know what was going on. When we started recording, it looked like he was out here trying to figure out if it was still shifting, which it still was.
Yep.
So they still ain't got it figured out yet. But
no. Might have to pull the old transmission again and put another one in there.
Yeah, so. But if he can get it to stick in second, they better watch out because Jaden coming right back to the way he was.
And talking about Josh Hinchee, he was in the 33G that Austin Williams had drove earlier in the year and nearly won a couple races, but it was an automatic at that time. They swapped it over to manual this past week. That's one of the reasons why they had worked so hard. Didn't really look like it helped them, but I think they were still just struggling with things. I think maybe they get some time this week. I don't know if he's planning on driving that car again, but I think if he gets a little bit of time this week, man, I think they could be right back in the mix.
Yeah, I sure hope so. I just, like you said, it's so much. Swapping them automatics over to manual takes so much time and so much effort, and so they probably just didn't have time to go over every single little thing. And it was clear that he was struggling with it a little bit. And maybe that part of that is, he's been in the Cobalt, and now he's going back to Cavalier, and those cars drive similar but also very different at the same time. So it's kind of
For sure.
Maybe next week he'll be a lot better.
When I got here Saturday, I guess it was still Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, right after 12 or whatever. He was still down here in Wes's shop trying to work on the car.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So they put in a lot of effort, and he did most of it by himself. I mean, he worked his butt off. He was waiting on you to come help him. That's what I think. He would have been further along if you come help him.
Sure. He never called me.
Well, that's because he knew you wasn't much help. But anyways, second stock 4 race, Gary got his redemption. Gary Smith annihilated the field in that race.
Yeah, he did.
Wes came home second. There was no competition caution there, which there was a caution earlier in the night. Timing of it sometimes, throws that off. It depends on when the caution comes out and all of that. So Wes got second. Caleb Hall finished third. Josh Brown got him a fourth place finish in that one. He looked like he was struggling too. I don't know if it was from trying to drive the mini stock and spending so much time with it or what was going on.
I think, first off, I think he wasn't in the right headspace. Because I think he was so aggravated from dealing with that mini stock. And then he went out. I don't know if you saw that first practice.
Yeah.
When he jumped in the stock 4 and he got hung up behind one of the slower guys.
Oh, yeah.
And he couldn't get around. And you could tell just by the way he was driving, he was so mad. And I think your mental state has a lot to do with how you drive that day.
Yep, for sure. Yes, the only real exciting thing that happened, Keyshawn Clater somehow lost a left front wheel.
Yeah, never seen that happen.
Yeah, I wonder if that was the one he was working on Saturday.
Yeah. Maybe Josh was working on it secretly.
Yeah, I'm not touching that. Yeah. Lost that. I mean, Wes immediately hit the tire. Tire went flying off in the pits. Luckily, it didn't hit anybody.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people usually down there. I believe it bounced off the side of your brother's van. That's what I think happened.
Oof.
That's where it was found anyways, was under it. So.
Yeah. Well.
Yep. Good times. I guess that's all the races from Saturday. Car races. We didn't talk about the streetcar drags. The old boy and the Charger
have not been disappointing lately.
Man, I tell you, every week it seems to be something, Yep. And it's always different, though. It's always a different cast of characters. And, Ryan Wheat wasn't out there. And, I can't even remember. Wes tried to go out there. That didn't work out too good.
It almost did.
Yeah, it did.
The guy in the Charger from last week, who, let's be real.
He was embarrassing last week.
Last week, I don't know if it was he was scared or if he was worried about hurting his car.
Yeah.
I think he was just scared based on how he drove this past week. Somehow he found some cojones to give that thing the beans. However, he was still not very fast in the turn.
Did you loan him some Bud Lights Pepsis? Sorry.
Yeah, Pepsis.
Pepsis.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I would never drink in the pits.
Nobody has ever drank in the pits here.
Ever.
But
yeah, I think he had something going for him that he amped it up quite a bit. He went undefeated the whole night. Almost didn't. Because we gave him a green-white checker there at the end with Wes, and it was
good times though. Good times. It was good to see. I don't even know who the guy is, but good to see him bounce back from a really poor performance the week before. Get him a little bit of a taste of victory this week.
I think that was the first spectator drag in a few weeks that we haven't had a spin or a wreck in the wall.
Well, Trey Cooper was sick.
He wasn't here. And spectator drags went very smoothly.
Now, I know you noticed when you came in over here, his car sitting over here. He had done fixed that car. That was the one he wrecked during the burnout competition. Yeah. He had done fixed that car to where he could race it in spectator drags this past weekend. Okay,
this dude. I figured he was putting it on display for the fans.
I mean, he ended up leaving it on display because he didn't make it. He said he was sick all day. Went to the ER, and hopefully he's doing better now. Yeah. I know a bunch of viruses and COVID and crazy ignorance running around. But hopefully him and Lizzie are both feeling better. Had to fill in at stop and go. David Burnett, normally our runner, he had to fill in there and stop and go. And W.J. Altizer filled in the pace car. Did a great job.
Yeah,
both of them did a great job.
Yeah, they sure did.
Yeah, so good to have guys who will jump right in there and fill whatever gaps we got.
Yeah, next week I'm gonna be the race director.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Whew. That's the scariest thing I've ever.
Why
heard.
is it scary?
Listen, that's scary.
First thing I'm changing. Screw these double wide starts. We're going 3 wide.
All right, you're hired.
We're going 3 wide starts.
See, well, look, we announced the last show that you were going to be the promoter here next year. Okay, I mean, I don't know if people thought we were joking, but I was serious.
All right, let's do it. 3 wide starts if you come to Franklin County. Late models. If you guys are worried about tearing your expensive cars up, that's fine. We'll work with you. We'll go 4 wide on the late models.
Yeah. So we'll have 2 rows.
Yep. Probably one and a half.
Do you? I mean, realistically, the stock force would be exceptional with triple wide starts.
I think it's worth a shot. Maybe not right now in the playoffs. I don't think they would be too happy about that. Well, but maybe that November or October race, whichever one it is.
In November, yeah.
Maybe.
The problem is you can't tell them about it ahead of time.
Nope.
Because if you do
that was a joke. We would never do that.
We were kidding.
We'll never do that, ever.
That's a terrible idea. I don't know why you come up with that. Speaking of terrible ideas, decided to launch some new merch this past week.
Shameless plug.
Yep. We're going to try to sell some shirts here. So, get your money out. Go to fcspeedway.com, click on the store link at the top. We got, I don't know, which one's your favorite of the 3 that we've got so far for the Pit Chatter podcast?
I don't. I gotta say the Frizzy Glizzies.
Frizzy Glizzy, yeah. I like the Bing Bong the best.
Bing Bong
with the crushed Bud Light can there.
That's a pretty good one.
That's a good one. I mean, and then I get made fun of, and I do say this all the dang time. 100%. I probably said it 37 times in this show without even saying it right now. Three times there.
You say so much that I don't even hear it anymore.
That's what somebody told me. Said at first it really agitated me that you said 100% all the time. But now, do you even say it anymore?
You just stop hearing it after a while. Then you go back and listen. And you done said it 48 times in one sentence. But
be sure, if you support the Pit Chatter podcast, be sure to go grab you a shirt online. They're only $20, man. That's a good deal for a T-shirt. I think it's $25 for a size for me and you.
I was going to say you're going to pay $25-$30 anywhere else.
Yeah, and big boy sizes you might pay $40-$50.
That's why I just get the mediums and just.
Yeah. Well, listen, that one shirt, the American flag shirt you had on here that time, that was not a medium. That was a medium.
I'm still mad at Whitey for that one.
Listen, I seen one of those shirts in the grandstands this past weekend, and I told the guy,
Did that guy's fit?
Listen, I said, I bet you I know where you got that. He said, I bet you don't, and he was telling me where he got it. Well, it was Will Smith's dad.
Yeah.
Gary is his dad's name, and. He was had it on, and he said, "Well, Gary, Will bought it for himself, but it didn't fit, so he gave it to me." I was like, "Oh my God, man, that's great." I don't think any of those are the size they're supposed to be.
Yeah, I know mine was not even close.
Yeah, no. I come in here and I'm like, "What? Did he paint?"
And I had to wear it because I got soaking wet at work. Came straight in from work. I said, "Let me just stop by a shirt."
I thought you had that body paint on. Thought you was one of those models or something.
That's what it looked like. Thank God it was stretchy material, so I wouldn't be able to breathe.
Listen, let me tell you, it stretched.
Oh, it stretched
a lot.
Now it's just hanging up in my closet. I get sad every time I look at it.
Listen, I seen you in it again after that show, though. That's the bad part.
When did I have it on?
At the party.
Oh, yeah. I did wear 10. That was like a joke.
Lord Jesus. But anyways, we got 3 new Pit Chatter podcast shirts, and I guess we need to have another one. This ain't any car.
Yeah,
we definitely got to do that. I'm gonna make that one happen. We've got the Frizzy Glizzy shirt. All of them have got the Pit Chatter Podcast logo on them. Got the Frizzy Glizzy with the animated hot dog on there. Got the 100% shirt. Looks like chalkboard written, 100%. And the Bing Bong with the crushed beer can. And listen, if you listen to us all the time, if there's something we missed, something from one of the shows that we should put on one of the shirts, if you want it, man, we'll make it up. We don't care.
Custom.
Yep, custom made.
Custom.
Custom made and ready to sell to other people, too.
Yep.
This ain't any car. I mean, that was a good comment. You know how many people I've told that to over the years?
Probably 1,000.
Lord. Wes Givens got that speech. His first stock 4, his first stock 4 race when he put Chris Meeks over here on top of the wall.
Yeah. The funny thing is that same thing you told Ryan Wheat, this ain't any car. It's the same thing I said to him last year when he about wrecked me in the stock 6 race. I said, this ain't any car, right?
God. Don't tell me I was quoting you. Oh, Lord.
Yep, you quoted me.
Jesus, man, that's not even.
You just couldn't help it.
That's not even right there. Definitely did not want to do that. This weekend upcoming, we've got the Star City 12-volt Labor Day Classic presented by One Stop Auto and Towing. Okay,
you're going to have to write that down. That's almost as bad as the Teddy's Winter Hauling Water Thaw. God,
Teddy's Water Hauling Winter Thaw. That was an easy one. That was an easy one compared to this one. Got that coming up this weekend. No late models this weekend, but we got.
What was that?
I think it was one of them stink bugs.
We gotta get the hell out of here.
Thing went right by Noah's head. Oh Lord. Anyways, no late models, but we got Legends, the INEX Legends National Qualifier. Somebody can qualify themselves in for the Nationals this weekend here. Could be interesting. Heard Lilly might not be here. I believe he's already qualified in from Shenandoah. They tore up all their crap except for his.
Is it like one car from each track or one car from each area?
Listen, don't get me to try to explain something INEX does, okay? That's like trying to explain NASCAR and the things they do, okay? It is not possible. None of it makes sense, and it's all made up anyways.
Like punishing Austin Dillon when he made a perfectly clean move?
But listen, you think Caleb Hall was a little above average?
It looked pretty similar.
No, it did not. No, it did not.
Caleb didn't have his win vacated.
Well, he should have, but for a whole other reason. But we ain't getting into all that. And it wasn't a win anyways. But what was I talking about? Oh, twin mini stocks, twin stock 4s, and a rookie race this weekend. And I think we're going to have some pretty good car counts. Talking to people, I mean, stock 4 is going to be good no matter what. Legends cars, probably similar to this past weekend. Got some guys coming down from Dominion, some guys coming up from Charlotte. Man, if everybody shows up in that, we'll have 10, 12, 15 maybe.
Should be good.
I think Silvestri will be back, either Silvestri or Shiflett, the car owner. He drives it sometimes. One of them two will be running in it. Should be a good one, man. The mini stocks, like I said, Scott Foley should be back this week. A couple other guys probably going to be back this week. I think we should have some good car counts and some good racing.
I hope so.
Hopefully we get another good crowd and get these guys out here and, put on a good show for the fans, man. I tell you, I think we had some I think we've had great racing most every week this year or every race this year. But, man, these last 3 or 4 have been really good.
Oh, yeah, they have.
It's sad that, you start the season off and, it's kind of slow and, you'll have a few things happen, but it's kind of slow. And then, man, like, we're about to wrap the season up. I mean, can you believe that we've got 3 races to go to end the points here and 4 races to go to end the season?
Feels like it just started.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got the trailer race. You got 2 days after our season finale.
Trailer race.
Got it. I mean, we got
$50 to win.
$50 to win, $100 to enter. So
yeah,
be a good night to bring out your trucks and trailers. Hey, speaking of, did you see where the Freedom Factory? Man, and they have all the great ideas. Okay, or at least no. At least they use. There's your bug right there. He's waiting on you right here.
Yeah, I don't want to hang out with
makes
him.
for some good radio, me pointing to it and stuff here and talking to you. But did you see at the Freedom Factory where they had their Rangers and they hooked like lawnmower trailers up to them and they had to back around the track for a lap?
Oh, I did see that.
Oh my God!
They got about 12 feet.
Yeah. Well, the one guy, he was doing great. He just rolled on. The rest of them did not.
Yeah.
That would be Wes Givens probably backing it up, and the rest of them parked over here, crashed up.
Yeah, probably.
Probably so. Need to do something fun like that. We need to think about what we can add to the November finale. I'm planning on running the IndyCar that night. I'm planning on you being in the passenger seat.
Not happening.
Listen, I'm telling you, I'm going to buy you a 24-pack of some Bud Lights, and I'm going to get you so drunk you don't even know you're in there.
I think screw the IndyCar. I'm
taking advantage of you. Okay?
I think we need to put you in a stock 4 race.
Hey, man, listen, IndyCar is calm compared to those idiots now.
That's the point.
Now, I'm not.
We're going to put you in a stock 4 race, and you're starting pole position. You getting the full experience.
Can I drive Gary's car?
Oh, sure.
If I get Gary's car, I'm not worried. I'll win the race. No questions asked.
I don't know if you will.
Nope, I'm winning the race.
I don't know if you will.
Man, I'm not getting sideways in turn 1 and turn 3, and I'm winning the race.
You haven't had to experience the trickery of West
Trust me.
firsthand.
I understand. Listen, I understand, and I'm joking, but
we're gonna get you. We're gonna get you in stock 4, and we're gonna get you like 33G, a car that's decently fast.
No, I don't want
but
that.
One where everybody's still gonna run over top of you,
No.
and we're starting you on the pole.
That's a horrible idea.
That's a great idea.
If you're riding with me, then I'll do it.
No,
come on, man.
Definitely not.
Listen,
then.
we'll get your seat. You don't use it anymore. We'll put your seat on the passenger side.
My seat is in use.
Well, we'll use it anyways.
Actually, technically, it's not. I forgot Wes traded me.
Yeah.
My old seat's in West's mini stock.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, see, we got you a seat. We're good to go.
No.
Hold on, back up. I about let that one go, but I can't do it. How the hell does Wes run a race in your seat?
Yeah, all right, let's play.
He weighs like 1/4 of what you do.
Let's play a fun game. What size seat do you think I run?
82.
It's supposed to be serious.
And 21.
16.
You're so tight. Listen, you're tighter in that thing than you are in the trunk.
But you know what?
Sure, okay.
When Angie had the Cobalt, she had I believe, an 18 in there.
Yeah.
Which is really probably what I should have been in.
Yeah.
But I don't like it. I don't like that I can move around in it. It makes me feel not secure. So I like being wedged into it. Now, that's what I run, was a 16-inch seat.
Yeah.
Now I have a 17 because that's what I traded with Wes.
Well, if your car would ever caught on fire, you wouldn't be here, okay?
Bull crap, my car did catch on fire one time. That's the fastest I've ever got out of a race car in my life.
Yeah, it only took you 35 minutes to get out that time.
That was a record.
Jesus Christ, man. Oh,
they had the fire put out, and I was already on the back of the record when I got out.
Well, that's good, I guess. Anyways, but yeah, I'm not racing stock 4. I'm not doing it. But I will race any car. I'm going to run any car. Yep, you're right. You can say anything you want. Hey, speaking of bowling, I went bowling yesterday to practice up. I told you, on that show that, we're going head to head. We're going to go live. We're going to live stream. What can you bowl? I need to make sure I get up to that before we, announce this thing.
It depends what kind of day it is.
Well,
and how much practice I have.
Well, don't get any practice. What are you going to do?
What do you bowl?
Right now, I bowl about the same as when I didn't go bowling. 0.
I used to go
can't hardly
bowling.
hit the pins.
I used to go bowling a lot, and I think I could roll like a 150, 160.
Yeah.
But like when I do it once a year, like I have been, I'll bowl like a 70.
Yeah, okay.
And that's a good day.
Listen, I might can beat you on the 70, so don't practice before we go head to head, okay?
No, you've been practicing.
Yeah, but I have to, okay?
I need to.
I got yesterday I got a 98. Every freaking roll. I'd hit it. I'd be looking, all right, that's a strike. Nope, left 2. The next one, that's a strike. Nope, left 1. Next one come up, oh, no, left 4. I'm like, what the hell am I doing?
I got to get at least one practice round now.
Okay.
I haven't bowled since November.
You can have one practice round right before we start.
No, that ain't
Come
fair.
on, man. Come on.
I got to figure it out.
Lord. All right. I'm going to lose bowling. I don't like losing, okay?
That's why you haven't raced.
That's why I'm not running stock 4. Okay.
That's why you haven't raced, because you know you're gonna lose every single race.
I don't like losing. That's why I'm not running stock 4. Okay. Yeah. Same reason you're not running anything anymore. Okay.
Yep. I'm a winner. I'm undefeated this year.
Oh yeah. So am I. Yeah. Anyways, so Sunday, we race Sunday this week, not Saturday. And the weather forecast for Saturday looks like crap, but Sunday looks pretty good. Got 40% chance, but mostly I seen it's overnight into the morning. You know, we don't race till 7 o'clock. I think we're gonna have a good one Sunday.
And we'll be fine.
And then in 2 weeks, on September 14th, we're back with the Ricky Gillespie Memorial Race. Then we got the Hex Haunted Attraction Championship Night to finish things up on September 21st. Points-wise, I don't even know where we're at, but, you know, shaking it all out, you know. And one thing that I hadn't addressed, I'll address, you know, now, was like, you know, and I don't even think I told you this, but, like, some of the drivers are like, man, don't make it to where it's, you know, the last race and it comes down to just one race. But I think that's the drama we need.
You sure we need to add more drama?
Well, maybe not in stock 4, but in everything else.
Yeah, I mean, that is true.
I mean, the late models don't have no playoffs because, you know, Matt Lawrence is the only guy.
Here's the real question.
He done won the championship in Legends, I guess.
Here's the real question. I guess
this
is a Jay question. Well, no, because you can veto it.
No, I don't veto nothing from nobody.
Well,
if I would have, there'd have been 2 stock 4s disqualified Saturday.
Let's say last race, and it's that way. It's championship. They're going into 3 and 4, and the guy in second just straight up dumps the guy in first, and he wins. Does it stand?
No, he's probably not winning the championship.
Man, Austin Dillon haters in here. And I don't even like that guy, but I thought he was hilarious.
I mean, I did too, listen. But at the same time, for the integrity of, you know, the division and the integrity of the track, I don't think you can allow that to happen.
Yeah, it's one of the ones where they had to punish him, but then when they talked to him in private, they were like, that was awesome. Do it again.
100%. And, I mean, if that happens, that'll be my exact thing. You know, when we're, you know, publicly, you know, you're not winning it, and privately, thank you. That was good. Fans enjoyed it, bud. You know what I mean? And, unfortunately, that's just the way racing is. I mean, that's, you know, there's nothing you can do about it. So
I guess not.
Good. But I think we're going to stick with the one race shootout.
Might as well. Don't change it now.
Now, here's going to be the interesting thing, because I was originally going to run 50 laps in all the divisions on the final race. But I just think that's not a good idea. That's not what they've been running. That's not what they should do. So I think the stock 4s, I think the first race is going to be a points race, and the second race is going to be for the championship. So anything can happen.
So what do you mean? The cutoff will technically be after the first race?
On the night. Yep.
How many laps would you do for
just twin 20s? Just what they've been. I'm going to try to run everybody what they've been running, I think.
I'd go 25.
Give
them a few extra laps.
Problem is, I don't want it to become a tire game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing.
But then how do you play? 50. Would you still do the invert for the second race, or would you start them straight up like qualifying?
I had a driver ask me this yesterday, and I think that the final 3 start shotgun on the field. The championship contenders start shotgun on the field.
And then invert the rest of them.
And then it don't even matter what you do with the rest of them.
I like that. I think it's a good idea.
I mean, it is going to bring the most entertainment. Now, the only unfortunate thing about that is, you know, Wes Givens is better coming from the rear than anybody else. I mean, I told him that we should start him in the rear and the other 2 up front, and then that's fair.
It's really hard not to make an inappropriate joke right now. But, yeah.
Yeah, we will, you know, right now, if it ended right now, it would be Keyshawn, Gary, and Wes. Start Gary and Keyshawn on the front row and Wes last. That would be great. Best entertainment we can have.
Yeah, but that's not exactly what we call equality.
Well, listen, this is not a democracy. We're not here for equality.
Yeah, this is a Stalinist dictatorship around here.
It is. Every racetrack is. I mean, it's the truth. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. That's what I'd like to do, but I don't think I will.
Vote for me for promoter. We're turning this into a...
Listen, 100%. You're going to turn it into a democracy?
Wink.
I was getting ready to say, you turn it into a true democracy?
There's going to be votes.
Yeah.
The votes might not count for anything, but they can vote.
Listen, you turn it into a true democracy, the racers will have it ruined by race 2, okay? It'll be over with. You'll just be like, well, season's over with. Who won that first race? There's the champion. It's over. We're done. Anyways, I guess we've rambled on enough here. It took up about 14 minutes since we've stopped talking about the last race of the night there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Guess we're out of here. Going to be seeing you see everybody this Sunday for the Star City 12-volt Labor Day Classic presented by One Stop Auto and Towing. See you, Noah.
First drive. Bing bong.